Good afternoon. It is Monday afternoon, the Monday after the Queensland On-Road State Electric Titles, which I myself, Brian Stewart / Hawaiian and Grant Serrano have attended with mixed bag of results. First off the bat is congratulations to Brian. Put an absolute splendid effort in, and just about had both Pro 10 and 12th scale basically sealed and delivered, albeit issues with the 12th scale on the diff kept on spooling out, failing. So he came in the end in third, just pipped out, and it was a shattering result. It was pretty disheartening to see how well he was doing, and then mechanical issues were basically to blame for not getting the double. But it was a fantastic effort for both the 10th and the 12th scale to get those two running in such great form. Brian, thank you very much. Greatly appreciated in your efforts that you have put through and the results that you keep reaping out of the efforts using the Team Powers products. I really do appreciate this a lot, immensely. Now for the sad news. Well, depends on how you look at it. I myself and Grant both ran in 13.5. The track I've never driven on, Grant has. It's big, it's fast, and it's got a couple of sections that'll just pull your car in, and that's the end of a good lap, the end of a good race. First off, Grant ran the Shoemaker with TP Electrics, doing really good. Problem that he was having was just a very unstable car. Couldn't quite figure it out. It was weird. Little things here and there had to be done. Qualified, he looked like he was qualifying for the A, and then just did not have good enough run in the last two heats before the reseeding for the finals, and it dumped him right down into B, where I was. I think he was 5th and I was 7th. Me, another story. Worked on Grant's car electrics just to give him a bit more pace to get the car going well in the B, to try and actually get some decent results out of his big efforts, which unfortunately didn't pan out. In the end, going back to basic setup of the car, if you want to call it a box stock standard, something like that, reaped the reward that he wanted, and the car was awesome. Electrics on point. Had some weird-ass little gremlins with two motors. Can't figure them out, but going to be looking into them. Both 13.5s. They weren't working. They weren't seen to want to really deliver as they're supposed to. So popped in another one of my private selection, which is basically just a V3 with the 12.5 rotor, and smashed it in speed and pace with the motor, and the electrics no problem at all, but a little bit too late to make a big impact. But Grant put a lot of effort in to get what he did out of it, considering that the car with the chassis was driving him insane. But that was worked out in the end. Again, too late. But it was good. It was a good learning experience. Big learning experience, especially on a new chassis on a track like that. Now, myself, abysmal. Not quite abysmal. Car on the track in the first morning practice on Friday. Car was awesome. Way over grippy on the front. The car would literally do a doughy on itself. That was that much grip on the front end. Had to dial it right down to 40% to be able to drive it. So I thought, can't drive it like this. Got to try something. And regardless of whether the tyres were... Well, we're using the Matrix 36s. And regardless whether the tyres were either heated or not, or prepped and just chucked on the track, same scenario. It was just so twitchy to drive. Did a couple of little changes on the chassis. Had Brian steer the car, and Grant as well steer the car, sort of get an idea if I'm heading in the right direction. And Brian's words were, it's on point, leave it, don't touch it, car's awesome, if it suits you driving, don't touch it, it's brilliant. So I left the car as it was and progressed to try and do some more control practice, and then into the qualifiers we went. Car felt really good. No issues there. Electrics are fast, equal in pace to pretty much anyone there in the top 10. Driver had to get his head around driving the track, which was not difficult, but if you didn't drive it well enough, it'd bite you in a bum. It would draw you, the corners would draw you into the grass field, and once you're there, you're there. That's it. You've got to wait for someone to take you out. You can't drive yourself out of it. And as I found the hard way, too many little mistakes in Q1 was just don't touch the corners. The corners are mental. They'll launch your car or do something weird, and that's the end of that. As I found out, launched myself off one corner straight into the concrete barrier and broke the front of the car. Snapped to where the bumper bar sits, reefed the bumper bar out. That I was able to repair and get it back onto the track. That was something that was not called for. That was a bad mistake on my part, not being clean enough out of the corners. So as the day went on, what do I do? Oh yeah, that's right. Q2, still again little mistakes all over the place. Wasn't happy with it. Had to try and actually drive around it to make it worthwhile. Q2 was good, but didn't get a good result at all. Q3, I think this is where getting ready for the Q3 at the end. Oh, I've lost track of how many qualifiers we did. I think it was 5 in total. In one of the qualifiers, lined up for the start, and a driver just drove straight into my car and broke it at the start line, and that was, they didn't even start. That was off the track. Well, I was pissed, to say the least, but didn't find out who it was. Needed to get some sort of resolution out of it, didn't get it. I was not a happy boy, and the car felt really good, ready to basically try and post a decent time to go up in the B's or low in the A's. Never eventuated. Bad news. Then got that fixed. Borrowed some parts off Brian's front wheel drive that he had there to do the repair. And that was done quickly. That was just a left-hand front knuckle after I repaired the first damage, which was breaking the front of the chassis. That got on the track. That was good. It's amazing what vice grips and CA and the help of Mr. Shaps. Thank you very much, Mr. Shaps, for the lending of the vice grips. Worked immensely well. Q4, absolutely blistering around. No issues at all. Car was good. Finished the race. I'm trying to remember. God, there was so much on the weekend trying to do, fix, run, and everything else. Got the car ready. Oh, that's right. Broke it and fixed it at the hotel that night. Sorry, trying to remember the sequence of events, as I'd call it. But Sunday morning, last qualifier in the morning, fixed car, ready to go, put it out on the track. Car was absolutely on point. Electrics brilliant, pace equal or better than some others on the track. Pacing one of the top drivers, Mr. Beckett, and I had a senior moment. I forgot to turn right off the back straight into the S's and went straight into the barrier, which was basically a very heavy fire hose with sand. You'll see it on the page, on the R.A.B. Hobbies page. The front of the chassis, well actually the chassis broken 4 places, top deck 4 places, bumper brace broken. Car was a write-off. Pulled it apart, threw away all the broken bits, which was nearly half a car, and that ended my qualifying run for the Queensland. Sat it out for the rest of the day, packed everything up, and watched both Brian and Grant run the rest of their races. Grant put in a stellar effort, just couldn't shake off the bug of a chassis that was just not working for some reason. But Brian put a couple of stellar runs in with 10th scale and actually won that in A1 and A2. Cleaned it, took the title. 12th scale was another story. Had to try harder there. Unfortunately, won the first, dumped the second, I think it was, and then diff issues on the third. So dropped down a third overall after putting in an effort with a car that was just stonking the fastest on the track. It handled well. Just little gremlins just did not want to basically help anyone at all on the weekend. Another learning curve, and I don't know why, but I think I'm just cursed and never to do well at any state or national titles. We'll see what happens when Canberra comes around. Pardon me. Whether or not I kick the gremlins and get a good result, or keep looking at myself as the bottom of the B's, bottom of the C's, whatever it is. I just got no idea. Pardon me. I need a coffee. That's the remnants of my car. That's the remnants of my car. There's not much in the way of remnants. Fan, there's no chassis. Chassis was absolutely obliterated. Front end. Rear end still intact. The only part of it that I did not have to take apart. That's a big rebuild there. But I'm happy to say the electrics were brilliant. Once everything was sorted out for the track, I cannot give you enough of a big spiel. The electrics are awesome, no problem at all. But it comes down to say that anyone that's driven at the track previously would have had the upper hand, because it is a fast and it is a difficult track to learn. And you learn very early in the piece, do not ride the curbs. The curbs will just sucker punch you straight away. You hit a curb, you're done. It's as simple as that. And unfortunately, too many curbs were ridden on my part. Grant, not as many. He did a lot better than me. But it was a good weekend. Can't complain. TP products worked really good. Chassis was good, really good. I can't complain. Brian did the best job out of all the three of us on the weekend, and I can actually safely say that I'm not the only one that drove into the barrier at the end of the back straight before the first right-hand corner into the S's. But Mr. Cornell did exactly the same with his brand new Yokomo BD11, I think twice. So I'm the one-shot wonder, he's the two-shot wonder. So he was disappointed in himself immensely. But this is what racing is. You take the good with the bad, you take it away, you learn, you come back and you do better next time, when the next time comes around. Now, with the settings of the car, I found that what it was set at with the electrics and everything else, I'll put those links here in a little list down the side. Pretty much the one setup worked with tyres gooped and cooked, or just basically cleaned and thrown on the track. There was no difference in how it performed at all, made no difference. If it wasn't heated, one quick lap. If it was heated, just put the car on track and go. Don't have to worry about anything else. So I'm really happy where it's actually come out to, because it gives me an indication that it's now a setup that tends to work very, very well. And three major changes on it, which are not big changes at all. You don't change anything dramatic on the chassis. You just add a couple of shims in the right place, and it was brilliant. Electrics for Grant and I were very, very close to each other. We went up on the throttle and the trigger. Had to. We went down on frequency. Had to make it feel better. I can't remember what Grant ended up with. I went lower than Grant and higher on the trigger and the throttle. Grant went, I think, less than that and stuck it on a much smoother frequency settings. Brian, I've got to get Brian's settings for the 12th scale and for the 10th scale. Brian might add the settings later on to this, and by all means, please try it, because both the cars were mental good. Both his 10th pan and his 12th scale. He'll put a proper setup either on his page or tag it onto this, but just have a look out for it. It's a good starting point, because if you're going to be driving at any track like Brendale again with those two chassis or anything similar, just go and do it with a TP and you will not be disappointed. The cars were that good and that fast. So congratulations to Brian on the results, both podium finishes, one first, one third. Well done to Grant to persist with the gremlins that he had all weekend. not much so on the electrics, but much so on trying to get his head around the chassis. But when he did work it out, it was brilliant, no problem at all. And the electrics complemented everything that he was trying to do. Me, sorry state of affairs, I got to go back to the drawing board and build a whole new car. Chassis, you know, I'm going to put it together. I got to laugh. It's just something that you don't want to see happen, but it does. But at least these are saved. My trusty, they didn't break, which is fantastic. My pit lane out of my Carbon Master, Berserk and the Funky Bunch. They're the battery stops. They worked really good. Stopped the battery from flying out all over the place, which I was hoping it wouldn't do, and it didn't do, which is good. So take care of yourself, guys. Look on this side for the settings on the chassis. They're very, very simple. I'll try and actually get it onto a setup sheet, put it out. Brian will bring his settings to the table sometime soon, and I'll get something off Grant, so it's something for everyone to pick and mull over to see where they're heading with the electrics on power delivery and all that type of stuff. Yeah, that's it. And everything stayed nice and cool, no problem. About 60, 65 all weekend, no issues with heat, best part of it. Everything was reliable. Take care, guys. Have a good afternoon, evening. Catch you on the flip side. I don't know where I'll be this weekend. I think Cirque and Funky Bunch is where I'll be. Get on to the page, say hello, ask questions if you need to. Have a talk to Brian, have a talk to Grant, have a talk to Nicholas, and we're more than happy to help out where we can in getting everything sorted out on your side of the fence. Thank you for the support. Thank you for your time. Thanks for the weekend, the Brisbane Brendale Club members. Very nice to meet a lot of you guys that I speak on the phone. Never seen you face to face, I should say. It was very nice meeting you. Great facility, brilliant. Did my head in at the start, but that's just what racing in. But thank you very much for the hospitality, Queensland, and we will see you soon, sometime in the future. Next stop, Canberra for the Nationals. Take care. Catch you later, guys. Have fun.